Well, sweet man. I'm glad I saw your call. I was down in my laundry room and I was like, because I don't really, if I had answered you, you wouldn't have been able to hear me. So I was like, let me fucking
Yeah,
back upstairs real quick to make sure I
yeah,
got
yeah,
this guy before, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I'm glad I could catch you even if it was on the treadmill, you know what I'm saying? So tell me what happened to your shoulder.
Just I just think this overworked it. It's nothing major. Just I use a lot of lefts in this fight. You know what I mean? A lot of jab. I sent you a couple of pics. I don't think. I think maybe two of my left shots out of the whole fight were the only ones that missed.
Yeah.
This last fight, everything was from the left side was landing on
Yeah.
cue.
Well, tell me about the fight, bro. I was looking anywhere I could look to try to get some video of it. So tell me what happened, man, because the last time I saw you was in Philly.
Yeah, shit. He was another tall guy. You know what I mean? And his game plan was probably okay. As a short guy, he's probably just going to come forward, straightforward at me, and go to my body and things like that. But I changed up the game plan a little bit. I still went to the body, just did it a little bit different. Just can't, worked on a lot of just angles and moving in differently because I'm pretty sure he probably had guys you know just going to his body and coming forward. So I switched it up on him just a little bit. I didn't have to because I have to do a whole lot because he hasn't fought anybody like me, and he hasn't fought the people that I fought. I got 6 world champions on my
Right.
that I've fought against. So he hasn't even sparred anybody like me that I know of. He's not even around that caliber of fighter, especially being where he's from.
Right. And I'm sure too, even though like there's always the challenge of being the shorter fighter, I'm sure for some guys it's awkward to have to punch down at you, especially because you're used to that being up at 168. Like you know how to approach that. And some guys have never fought somebody that much shorter than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he has had a few people. I only saw a little bit of clip of one other guy. Um, it might have been a Spanish guy. He was looked pretty tough, kind of coming forward, but he was just coming forward basic and just throwing, just kind of like throwing, not really trying to, pinpoint his shots. Just kind of just doing whatever he could. You know.
Right. So so explain this part to me, right? So you fought in September and then you got a turnaround where you're fighting basically 2 months later. So what happens in that 2 months? Are you taking any kind of break, or are you're just
Well,
back to work?
well, no, it's I'm in a better position now. I want to give a shout out to MG Ring. My new promotion company. They put me in a better position to lining up fights and guarantee me fights. And now I got people behind me now, and going to make sure that things are in better favor for me. You know,
Right.
uh, so now not accepting those. Hey, we got to fight in 1 week. They called me the other day. They see, okay, he got a WBC belt now. Hey, we got to fight in 5 days. Ali Akhmedov. I'm like, nah, that ain't me. I don't got to do that anymore.
Right.
My ranking went back to where it was. From 14, now it's back to 11 now. So everything's got to be strategically in place. You know what I mean? And get some other big names there, and no more than 10-day, 2-week notice type fight things.
Right. So is that something that changed between your last two fights?
Yeah,
Well, congratulations, man. That's fucking awesome.
yeah.
So I guess, and what was funny was I was gonna ask you this in Philly, and I don't know if you remember this, but they turned the lights off on me mid-sentence. But I was like, I was gonna ask you, and now this is an even better time to ask you, like, what are your goals now? What's next? Who are you looking at as like, kind of the end game, or not even the end game, but what's the next move?
Well, now I got to make bigger and better steps towards the world title. I think between you and I, or whoever, I think me and Caleb Plant should fight.
Right.
I think that'll be a good fight. I had some words with his coach. I know his wife and his wife's family. Because I hang out with them all the time, and some Facebook stuff that happened a while ago, and they kept tagging me and stuff, and then I was like, well, shit, we should fight. You know what I mean? I keep getting all this shit popping up, and his coach had some words, and his coach. There's no way of him knowing who I was. You know what I mean? I told him to pull up somewhere and meet me. Because some people just box. You know what I mean? The stuff I do in the past is really different than this. I said, and my phone was dying at the time. But he don't look like that type of guy that'd fly somewhere. You know what I mean? Have a conversation with no man. Face to face. So I was like, well, shit. Just have your fighter fight me, and I can be. He can get it for you.
Right.
And then he was like, oh, there's no reason for us to fight you or whatever. You don't have enough fights or something. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something in that nature. I said, well, if you don't want him to fight me, you can pull up and, do some out, some outside street shit, then, don't talk to me, because a lot of these guys, they be talking, they fight, but they be talking, but they don't do shit, outside the ring as well,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think especially somebody like
You
Caleb
know,
Plant.
yeah, and like, they, a lot of people don't know that's how I started boxing. I stopped counting after 90 knockouts on the street,
Right.
so that's why I didn't have that much actually, amateur bouts, you know what I mean? Most of my amateur experience, came out from, just knocking out people in the hood or, around barbecues, crackheads, drunks, all kind of stuff. And this, yeah, because I was such a nice kid, and I was just around a different group, even though I wasn't into that stuff. It was just around, so it was real easy for me to get singled out because I just looked different.
Right.
They could, they could look at me, oh, that's a square out of it, and they just, found out the hard way that, just because he looked like that don't mean he's not physically capable.
Right. That's funny, bro.
Yeah.
So tell me about that though. So you didn't really have any amateur career?
No, I probably had 18, 19 amateur fights.
Okay.
Um, that's pretty decent, but I had more of a pro style. I knew that, and then from watching, boxing, I was like, my style is not like a pity fat style. I've had people wobble and they won because they tapped the little white part of the glove more than I did, and they can barely stand there to get their little trophy,
Right.
and they're hurt. So I used to just love knocking people mouthpieces down and knocking head gears off. That's kind of was like my thing.
Well, and amateur boxing scoring is weird to me, where it's like body shots don't really count. That's like it really is. If you can just get your glove onto the headgear, that's a point. And I think it leaves out a lot of like the important stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's not as much of it that counts, I guess. So, all right. So shorter amateur career, street brawler of sorts. So when did you really start boxing, like for real, for real?
I might have been 2021, walking through the gym uh, in Roseville. Nasser Navarone was actually a kickboxing gym, and then that's where I met Otis, Christian Cruz, Mike Sims, Eric Regan. He was a kickboxing champion, a trained boxer. Uh, Gilbert Zaragoza. There's a lot of big names, and they're all in the prime. You know what I mean? I walked in the gym, 217 pounds, and
You're 217.
yeah, I was 2 I used to lift weights. Right now, I'm at 22 years, no weight. I haven't lifted weights in 22 years.
Right.
So once I started boxing, I didn't lift any more weight. So I walked in there, I'm training and stuff, and I wanted to sparring. So I started hitting these guys, and they weren't going down after like 2, 3 punches like everybody else. And they were hitting me back hard because they were like, yeah, this little young dude, he got power, but he had, I didn't have the skills yet. They had the skills. I just had power, so I got my ass worked for a little while, and eventually I came back and whooped everybody ass.
Right. So
Yeah.
I actually remember that name because a couple of the different times where I talked to Otis, I remember him telling me about that guy. So
But Mike Tim,
no, the first guy you said,
Eric Regan,
whoever's
no,
gym it was.
oh Nasser Navarone, yeah.
Yeah, I remember Otis telling me about that guy. So that's where you met. That's where you met Otis. Was Otis still
Yeah.
fighting at the time?
Yes, he was. Otis is the one that gave me the name, the Menace. That's
Yeah,
why I got that name 22 years ago.
that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So were you around him when he was on the reality show and shit?
I was there at the tail end of it. He was still boxing. I was there at the tail end of it right after right when he won the show, because he was being managed and promoted and stuff by Nasser at the time.
Right. Is
Yeah.
that the guy's name is Nasir Navarone? That's what you're saying?
Nasser Navarone, yeah.
Because I've heard that name in a bunch of different places, but I've never seen that.
He's Persian guy. He throws like local fights here and stuff. He's known. He's been all over the world.
Right.
When I first fought my first world champion, I think it was a little early in my career when I fought Tyrone Zug in Hamburg, Germany. I went over with him. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So what I was gonna ask you too is like in that quick turnaround, what does that 2 months look like? You know what I'm saying? Between your last fight and the one that you just had, like, is there any time off in there? Are you right back to work? Are you rehabbing anything?
I took a little like couple weeks off, catch up with my kids, because all my time is mainly spent with them or at the gym, and I have a gym to run,
Right.
so I'm there, teaching and stuff. I got a little bit of a break, I'll say probably 10 days, couple weeks, then it was like, oh, we might just have coming up, so you probably just start getting ready, and I was like, all right, well, gotta start running. Like today's my first day walking on the treadmill, seeing how I feel, because possibly fight in January.
Fighting in January.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. Possibly for a title in Puerto Rico. I'm not sure, so I gotta double check.
Man, you're in demand, Mike.
Yeah, so I just because I'm 40. I feel about 27, 28, but I want to, finish off strong these last 6 fights, make a name for myself, and then grow my business, passing on the knowledge to other people that want to follow their dream.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your gym.
My guy boxing is in Colorado Hills, California, right outside of Sacramento. And I got 2 UFC fighters, Aspen Lab, number 3 in the world, and upcoming prospect Anthony Hernandez goes by Fluffy.
Right.
So there's, it's pretty live at the gym. We also got Max Griffin. He trains there. He's not under me, but he works with the rest of the teammates and one of the head coaches, Jim West.
Right.
So yes, and then there's some upcoming MMA amateur fights, amateur fighters. I have a girl, Samantha. She goes by Sammy. Worthington's her last name. This girl's knocking out guys. She's pretty tough. I think MG Ring is getting ready to actually pick her up today.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be sitting over some stuff. So that's my my female boxer. You'll be hearing about her real soon.
Cool.
Yeah, I easily see her being, a world champion. She's dying to fight. She calls me every day to she's ready to go. Like she's super hungry. She's what they say. She's calling. What Nasser say, what Otis say, what they say, you know what I mean? So she's ready to go, and they looked at some of the video of training, they're excited, So
Yeah. Man, you got a lot going on, Mike. You got a lot going on.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing, man. What's like your secret, bro? Because there's not a lot of people that at 40 can be fighting at the level that you're fighting at and not, you know what I'm saying? Like that's very rare.
Well, I think a lot of people, what they mess up when you're younger. So when I was younger, I didn't ever got like my 20s when I started like, boxing. So it's what you do before you get older. It's
Right.
what your older part's gonna look like. You know what I mean? So I wasn't into drugs. I wasn't smoking weed, cigarettes, pills, pressure, all the shit that was going on. All of that stuff. You know what I mean? I stayed away from that. So pretty much, I never got. I'm not saying all 20-year-olds doing stuff, but my 20s were a little bit different. So and then I've also always been in the gym. So before boxing, I used to lift weight. I didn't hit 600. I was squatting. I think the highest I squatted was like 590.
Sheesh.
I was bench pressing. Bench wasn't that much. I think I got 335 two times. But I could hit 225 like 21 times at the end of every workout. I was gonna do I was gonna do a bodybuilding show. I got food poisoning. I was walking around at 4% body fat. I was gonna walk on stage at 1%. And then I got food poisoning at those coyotes in Roseville. And I was like, mess. I went to the doctor, pumping my stomach and tubes in my mouth, tubes in my butt. So it was like all bad. So I stopped doing that. And I kept working out, but I was like, I went to all that work for a show and then I just never went back to it.
That was a bodybuilding show, you said?
Yeah, I was gonna do a novice show that they had in Roseville. I was getting ready for. Yeah, I used to work out with a lot of professional bodybuilders.
Right.
First officer named Gary, his wife Sophia, Phil Phillip, Kenyatta. So it was like I was around like all, but it was like Gold's Gym. It's like the one that was in Auburn, and that was in Citrus Heights on Auburn and Greenback, and that's where like if anybody was somebody, all the professionals came here. Like you couldn't tell the men from women in there, and I was like the youngest kid in there coming out of high school. And they could call me whole stack. I'd go on the machine. I start out with the whole stack.
That's
And,
awesome.
yeah, so I've always been in the gym. So I always had like a gym mind, and you only get one body.
Right.
So if you imagine if you have one car, you only get one car, then you're going to treat it a little bit different. Oil change, spark plug, everything's going to be current. So
Yeah.
that's how I kind of looked at my body at the beginning. Looking, like, shit, I might, only get one of these. So
Right.
like now, I'll go to a bar and have some drinks or whatever. When it's fight time, I'll stop. I'll drink it and I eat food and shit. But I learned enough before I start trying to have fun. So this is technically like my 20s now. Recently, try the edible. You know what I mean? Those things is those are a little too strong for me. Because I never been into smoke. Never been into smoking weed, but I know I do need something to like relax my muscles and stuff. Because at night it's hard to go to sleep and feel like my body is still moving around.
Bro, you should try some CBD.
No, I got the cream. I got the CBD cream that works for like the muscles, and then I tried a couple of the CBD tinctures. They did work a little bit too, but it didn't really help with the sleep part.
See, now I think the if you get like I'm kind
But,
of
but when you put them together though, you'll laugh yourself shake to sleep.
Oh yeah, 100%. But they got this thing that's called full spectrum CBD, and it's basically like it's not isolating one cannabinoid; it's giving you all of them. And so there's a little bit of THC in it. It's just got like it's more of it's just a different feel to it. So when you take it like for sleep, bro, it's gonna put you right out. Like
I just recently went to like one of those cannabis stores. Like I walk in there, I'm like I don't know what to do, or what to look for. So I got I know the gummies. cookies and the root beer. There's have a nacho Palos root beer.
Yeah, yeah.
That one right there, it gets you pretty relaxed. I
I
like
gotta,
root beer.
I gotta tell you something, bro. As like a New York kid, the couple of times that I've been to Cali and someone takes me to the weed store, I'm just like so completely mind blown.
Oh, it's like weed college in there. Like I don't know what to do in there.
Bro, I'm walking in there and I'm just like, are you sure we're allowed to fucking be here right now, dude?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I'm like looking around.
That's how I felt. Like I walked there, like I was about to get a raid. I'm gonna go to jail, and I don't even smoke weed. You know, I just
Yeah,
come
you
here
went
and
in for
look.
the first time just to get a little taste, and they were like, now's the time we crack down.
You know, but no, yeah, it's out here. Yeah, everybody, especially I live up in the hills, so like literally everybody has like weed around here.
Yeah, of course.
In El Dorado County, like you can say you walk into a store and man, you got a pound in your car. Yeah, I got one. It's literally like that here. But
Yeah.
I never been into smoking, man. In high school, I tried it once and it was fun, but that ain't my thing. Like I don't want to be like I don't like to be stuck.
Yeah.
Like me, I'd rather have a shot, move around, dance around, have a good time. I don't want to be like like even when I broke my hand, they gave me medication. I was like, I can take this. I don't like that effect where I'm, just I feel like I don't have any control.
Well, yeah, and I mean, weed now, there's so many different kinds too, and if you're taking an edible, you may not necessarily know what kind it is, or
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because not every
yeah,
weed is just gonna make you couch lock sleepy guy. But
yeah.
if you take a certain amount of that kind, like you're gonna be
Well,
fucking
right
tired.
now, I know my dosage is nothing more than 10 milligrams.
Okay, yes,
You know,
you
so
gotta take baby steps, bro.
yeah. So, but I know people talking about that ain't they start off at like 67. I was y'all, I'll be ready to be dead. It'll be my last day. Because one time I ate a cookie one of my students gave me. That's when I first had a cookie, and I had to get carried out of a restaurant. You know, somebody had to drive my truck home, and I threw up. So I told him, what was that? He was like, I was
See,
35 minutes.
that's why, and as much as that's why sometimes I get a little sketched out with the edibles unless I can get them in a store, like
So
where you are.
so he made them, but I didn't know. So I ate half of it, and I didn't think it was working. And then I ate the second half like maybe 30, 40 minutes later, and I felt like I can taste it. So I don't think he mixed, maybe it wasn't mixed right. So I feel like I can taste it more in the second one.
Yeah,
And it was like a little tiny cookie. It wasn't big at all. Like
right.
not even the size of a normal chocolate chip. It was like a little smaller than that. And it had me all messed up. I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. Then later on, I tried a 10 milligram gummy. And I was a little there, but I was like, okay, that's all I need. I had me sitting on the couch. I was relaxed. I was watching Harlem Nights, and I was laughing ear to ear, and I got some good rest.
See, that's what you're looking for right there. But
Yeah,
the edibles too, your body processes the edibles a little different.
yeah. He said you probably should have waited. He told me I probably should have waited longer.
The edibles are easier to get into if you've been smoking. Like if you're a little more used to the high, it's like easier to transit because the edibles are a little more intense, I would say. Because when you smoke, you
Yeah,
can take like one little hit. So a lot of times, if you're used to the weed high and you take an edible, it's a little easier to do that than I don't really smoke that often. Let me try that. You know what I mean?
yeah. But I'm going for not ever smoking,
Yeah.
and then and I'm throwing up all over the place.
Yeah. 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 That you should have gotten a warning, bro. You should have gotten more of a warning.
And then the next time I ate, I had the cookies there from the store, and I was fine, but it was just two 10 milligram cookies. So I think I can handle 20, but that put me around the edge. But only reason I threw up that time was because I ate so much food. I was just eating random stuff like chips, I ate pizza, then I made this, and I made macaroni and cheese, and I ate rice, then I ate, I was eating fruit, then I was eating you know what I mean, ice cream. You know, I had so much random stuff that made me throw up. You know, and then, you know, so yeah, it ain't really for me, but I need just a little bit so I can just get my muscles to relax, and then
Hell
that's
yeah.
it. But I might try the one that you said, the CBD one, that has
Look,
multiple different
full
CBD,
spectrum. Full
full
spectrum.
spectrum. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, shit, if you're ever back on the East Coast, let me know, bro. I make like my own little mix of it.
So I got to see where I'm at because I ain't gonna move that fast. You know, I gotta be in the hotel room. And not, I can't drive with it either. I
On the
can't drive
CBD?
like, well, if it hit me anything like the THC, I won't be able to drive.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I think also when your body is used to being clean, you know what I mean? It's
sure.
also hits you different. Like me, like I crave like Whoppers, you know, and I don't even eat that much red meat. But
Right.
I'll go get a Whopper. First bite's good. Second bite, all right. Third bite, I feel like I feel sick.
I'm
You know?
same way with the junk food, bro. If I go to eat like some fast food, because I don't eat that shit either. Like,
Yeah, I don't eat it.
bro, I feels like a hangover.
Yeah,
Like
I
you
feel
eat
sick like
shitty food.
within 10 minutes. I feel sick. I was like, damn, that shit's really good.
Oh my
You know,
God, bro.
because I eat everything plain. Like I don't eat no sauce on burgers. I eat salad plain. I eat Caesar salad with chicken and stuff like that. But everything I eat is plain. And you know, then I also have a chef, so he makes some Ultimate Fitness foods. They make my food and stuff for a price, so everything's like clean. You know, then I keep it somewhat clean, myself. But then when I eat something really bad, the only thing I probably eat bad that I don't feel sick, I'll go to Taco Bell and I'll get a bean burrito, extra onion. That's it.
Right.
That's probably the only thing I can feel normal. That's if like I'm in between clients at the gym, I can't grab nothing, I'll go across the street and grab that.
So let me ask you, when you were 217, were you 217 a muscle or were you 217 a Taco Bell like me?
It was muscle. I was still eating clean then. I was strong. I was like really strong then. Like I could grab guys and just throw them and stuff for fun. And I'm talking about little guys that were like 150. I'm talking about guys that were like 2+. So I was it was muscle. If I find some old pictures, I'll send them to you.
That's crazy, man. How did you drop that weight if it was all muscle?
Just working, just running. I just stopped lifting weights. So like right now, I don't bench, curl, squat, triceps, none. I use like bands and hand weights for shadow boxing and hitting the bag hard. Just resistance in the same motion that I'm going to be moving in fight. That's it. I do plan on starting back doing some legs and squats. I want to add just to get more leg strength to help develop a little bit more power.
Right.
I'm learning a little bit more stuff about that. But a lot of boxers don't really lift a whole lot of weight. And if you're in the heavyweight so they have to be able to move around another big person and tie up and things like that. MMA fighters, they need a little bit of weight. Most of them when they're body type, because they have to move around another person and give them punch and have to physically engage. Boxing, you have to be able to generate power, be fast and accurate. You don't have to bear a whole lot of weight. So you really don't need a whole lot of weight to do different things like this. It's different,
Right. I mean, if anything, you're trying to get smaller, you're trying to cut weight. So even if you have a certain amount of strength to be able to move somebody around, if it's making it harder to, cut weight. So if you're weightlifting like that and then you just stop weightlifting altogether, like at what point for you did you realize like, okay, this is my natural weight? You know what I'm saying?
So my natural weight is probably 185, and I'm like 183 right now. My natural weight is like
that's like your walk around not fighting weight.
Yeah. Right. Like eating whatever I want, like 185. Yeah.
Right.
But when I was lifting, I was like, even now, I still take in, I could take anywhere from 10 to 18,000 calories a day. Then when I was lifting, like I don't think I would ever not eating or not having a shake. I literally ate and shake all the time. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I took in 30, 40,000 calories one day. And even at that time, I was, you know, like drink a margarita or some shit like that. That's, that could be 1,000 calories by itself.
Right.
So, I mean, I literally was taking in everything. Always had a shake, had my supplements, my amino acids. The creatine makes you a whole lot of water too, but I don't think nobody really takes that anymore, But um, yeah, I was always eating or drinking something, like literally all day long.
That's crazy too, man. Because when I saw you in person, I was like, Mike's a big guy. You know what I'm saying? Mike will fucking pick you up and throw you, and that's you not lifting weights at all.
Yeah, I'm at 22 years right now, no weight.
Wow, that's
But
impressive.
I use resistance though, so that's a form of what. It's not like benching, curling, squatting, but I
Yeah.
use a lot of repetitions. Hand weights, weighted vests, those type of things. But as far as like lifting weights, haven't did that. But
Right.
that was my first love. I know nothing sound better than a two pair of 45 planking together.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
the old school gym, you can walk in there, it sounds like a symphony playing. All you hear is ping, 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 ping. Everything in it is just clanking together. You didn't even need music. Like nowadays, you workout gyms, you need music. The old school gym, all you hear all that iron slapping together around the gym. That's all the music you need.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's funny, man. Are you at your gym right now?
No, I'm at Lifetime. It's a gym here in Folsom. It's kind of you probably call this more like a bougie gym. People come in there and try to meet girls and maybe,
Hey, you gotta have
you
one of
know,
those, bro.
but I just come here to get away from my gym. They got a sauna here, a pool, steam room, and just, I don't got to worry about nobody talking to me, hey, can you train me? Or when can I come in? I just come here and do my own thing, kind of
Right.
ignore everybody.
Yeah.
But it's like you can get like summertime, you can get like mimosas, wine, the hair done, nail done, haircut. It has a full like cafe. Like it's like more on like the bougie side kind of gym.
Yeah.
It's like a fitness club, health. It's more of a gym that you can. It's more like some people use it for bragging rights, just to say that. You know what I mean? I spend $165 a month to go to this place.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
it, bro. So you're gonna think about maybe fighting in January. Do you have any idea who that's gonna be?
No, I'm just working on right now, just getting more educated, to getting sharper, and taking my style and just being more educated with it. Everybody, they know I'm aggressive, they know I'm strong and all this stuff, but now just being smarter with it, so things are more effective,
Right.
and especially when I'm going on people's, hometown and things like that. So
Yeah.
things have to look cleaner. You know what I mean? I have to get my points and make sure that the judge has seen it. You know what I mean? And get out of there. But getting points, getting work, and then they can just be like, and then their guy is there doing stuff back, and they can just say, "Oh, he won the exchange."
Right.
So that just trying to avoid robberies and things like that. Even like the guy I just fought, they were going to give it to him
Right. Yeah.
because I dropped him in the first round. They should have stopped it in the third round. They should have stopped it in the fifth round. And they should have stopped it in the seventh round. In the seventh round, I was literally looking at his coach, and I think he took too much of a beating. I think
Really?
I'll be me personally, like dude from Rockets, he dies, he dies. You know what I mean? Like the referee got to do his job. I'm not gonna stop. But I look at his coach. There's a time where you could be like, all right, that man's had enough.
Mm-hmm.
And he had enough, but they just wanted him to survive a little bit longer so they can say he won the fight. And like literally, there was, he did not win any of those rounds of the fight. And they finally stopped him in the ninth round.
Right.
I'm dying to see when the next time that he's going to be able to fight. I don't see him fighting for a while
Yeah.
after that. If he does, he will do this. I'm pretty sure he had a concussion,
Right. Right.
But I've been robbed before, and I was like, not for a belt and not for a little bit of money that I'm getting paid for that fight. I need to get this dude out of here. It's the
Right.
ninth round. Like he has to go. They really want to give him the fight.
Right. Especially if you know the guy's hurt and he's getting hit and they're not stopping the fight. And
Yeah,
you could feel
yeah,
everybody kind of trying to pull him to the finish line a little.
yeah. Even the referee said he should have stopped it in the fifth. The ref said that should.
Uh,
I could have stopped it earlier. I could have stopped it in the fifth round. They were
so
really trying
was
to
it
get
his
this.
hometown?
Yeah, they all knew him there. One of his buddies even talked about shooting me after. You know what I mean? He said something about my socks or whatever. Didn't have. See, they were just saying a bunch of stuff. And then they were wanting us to wait in the ring, and my coach was like, "No, we're gonna leave when we want to leave." They're like, "All right, well, you guys hang out." I'm like, "Yeah, obviously I ain't got no guns there." You know what I mean? But if we had to fight again, and we would fought again. But
Right.
I already came there and did my job. You can't be mad because your buddy got beat up. You know, that's part of the game. And the dude, that I fought, he's actually a nice dude. He was like a cool guy. Like he wasn't disrespectful or anything. I don't got no problem with him. A lot of his friends and stuff, they had issues afterwards. Like you want to shoot somebody because your friend got beat up. They definitely wouldn't come here and do that. 'Cause that'd be a bad spot.
Yeah, that's a weird. I mean, obviously, that's their boy. They're upset about it. You know what I mean? But
I got people that get down too, but they wouldn't be like, "Oh, Mike lost." Do something to him afterwards for what?
yeah, yeah,
For
that's
sports.
right. And it's also almost everybody has to go through that.
Yeah,
So it's in your mind, right? Like you're in his hometown. You can feel a certain amount of things kind of pulling in his direction, or
oh, I felt everything, even from how people were cool before that were part of the organization that was going on. How they were cool before, then after I won, they're kind of little distance now. Like, damn, shit, we actually won. And it wasn't the same conversation, wasn't the same. People kind of ignoring you afterwards, things like that.
right. So you kind of you upset the apple cart.
Yeah.
So in your mind, like, I'm guessing you are now that I'm talking to you, but like when you go into a fight situation like that, like, are you aware that it's all kind of built for the other guy? Or that, I hate using the term A side, B side, but like, are you aware of
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. I'm 100% aware. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes you might see them. Sometimes you walking by, they have lunch with the judges and shit. Like, come on, why is your coach over there hanging out with the judges?
Right.
Like you see all kind of stuff, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" They know people by name. Hey, what's going on? How you know the judge's name? And they're all, you can just tell, man. And they're like, boxing is it's pretty shady. Like
Yeah.
even like with the kid at Plant Canelo fight, I don't know, man. They talk about a phantom punch. I looked at it a little bit. I don't I don't know if he threw that fight or what. I don't.
I thought it was a good fight.
I thought it was too, but I've seen Caleb Plant fight a little, and I just don't think that I was really, him fighting.
You don't.
You know, you know.
Honestly, I thought Canelo did kind of break him down, though.
Yeah, he broke him down, but I think I 100% say through the fight. I don't think that was, maybe it wasn't his night, or he wasn't trying his hardest, or maybe he was scared. I don't know what it was, but he wasn't. clearly wasn't himself.
So you thought he was off? Because I thought he fought pretty well. I just thought Canelo was a little too much. I thought he just had too many skills. But
I think he didn't have enough firepower for Canelo. I think he had a decent amount of skills, but I think it might have been a power factor.
yeah,
A power factor, which
power, experience. I think just like in that fight, Canelo's got every advantage. I get what you're saying though, where he definitely didn't have enough like offense to get Canelo's respect.
Yeah.
Like, but I could see even subtly, but by the second or third round of that fight, I could see like, all right, I see where this is going.
Yeah.
Like it starts off one way, he's got his jab, he's moving around. Then by the second round, he's like can barely keep Canelo off of him, and it's you can see the writing on the wall with that one pretty quick. I thought.
Yeah. Even a guy that fought, he was like, oh, this little short guy. He was like 6'2", 6'3". He was like, I would keep him back with the jab, and it's right, and it was a similar situation. He didn't have enough firepower, and I worked more things on defense and angles this time. So I never think he might land in one body shot and one like he couldn't touch me. So I felt good the whole fight. Once you find if I was really dancing in between rounds, me and Ace and Otis, we were like just to the music and stuff,
Right.
So that was also pissing off the fans. He's dancing to the music. They're over there singing and shit. You know what I mean? This ain't, and then I was looking at my coach, talking to the coach, and he said, throw that to the body shot. So I went to his body, boom, right hand to the body. I stepped back. I look at my coach, and I'm like that. He was like, yeah. I said, hold on, I'm going to do it one more time. Boom. This is happening in the fight. I hit him again with a right hand to the body. I look at my coach like that. He said, yeah, and I gave him a thumbs up. But then I went back to like fighting, So that was kind of pissing him off. This dude's in there playing with our hometown champion. He's talking to his coach, dancing in between rounds. Like, what is he doing?
Right. Is Otis your head coach?
Ace is the main coach. Otis, he does the management and my second coach.
Okay.
And then I also started working with what's Patrick's last name? James Tony's coach. So I've been working on him with angles the past few weeks before the fight. So I have 3 coaches now.
That's great. I mean, it's good to have different inputs like that. You got a good team, man.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna go down there. I told him WF's farm with James Tony. I've always liked James Tony. I'm down to go down there because James Tony was getting ready for.
Is he still sparring?
Yeah, he's still sparring.
Wow.
He's actually in train, like Patrick's training him as well too, but he's thinking about taking another fight.
Is he really?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow, man. Have you seen him spar lately? Does he look like that's something he could do?
I seen him on the mitts. I've been watching his training. He still got skill. He's bigger now.
Of course.
But he's not the same James Tony with the big bobblehead that can hit you anytime he wants to. But he still has those skills. He's just a little bigger, not as fast as he used to be. There's obviously bigger and heavier and older, but he still got skills and he still can move fast too.
Right. Yeah, I remember I had a coach, man, and he was like he would walk and he was like kind of like an old man kind of, but then when he would go to show you a move on the bag, that muscle memory would kick in and he'd be like, yes, you got to do it like this, whap 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 whap, and it was like, whoa, what the fuck?
So we got an old guy at our gym like that named Norm Papalero. He almost fought Muhammad Ali, so he was around that time.
Right.
He's 80. Norm is 84, I think, right now, and he moves like an old man. But when you go to show you a move, and he start moving all hard shit, and he grab your arms, and he jerk you around, and you be like, yeah, he still got power, but then he'd go back right back to moving like an old man again.
Yep. I think it's
Yeah,
just once it's in you, it's just in you. Like that. Once that
yeah,
muscle
yeah,
memory is in you, it's always there.
yeah,
Literally until you can't walk anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. I've been looking at like all of the guys that you fought, like Derevyanchenko, Akhmedov. These are all guys that are like at the top right now. Um,
Yeah,
and also, I mean, dude, the John Ryder fight, the fight that I went to where you fought Jesse. Um,
yeah.
who do you think is like the toughest fight you had? And then who do you think is really like the top guy at 168? And I don't know if you could count Canelo necessarily because he's any weight he wants to be.
Uh, well, out of the guys that I fought, that was probably the most difficult fight. It's probably when I fought Sergey Derevyanchenko.
Yeah.
But also, you know what I mean? I fought him with no training, no mitts, no. I was literally sitting at the bar drunk, not drunk, but drinking and stuff. With one of my, cause my UFC fighter was getting ready to fight in Vegas or just fought in Vegas. I was out there for training for something. I think she was getting ready to fight. I'm sitting in the bar just having drinks. I got the thing. And one of the fight through guys said yes. I just said yes. And then I was already in Vegas, so I did all my medicals there, and I just thought, well, alcohol might come up in my chest, you know. I just did all my medicals there, flew back, lost 11.2 pounds in 2 hours. And my buddy OJ had passed away. He took me to Nice, California, and I did like another 2, 3 pounds. So I did like 14.2 pounds in 20 hours. Went there, fought, you know what I mean? He dropped me with a body shot. First, he got me one, he got a clean shot, got down, got back up, started fighting, a couple rounds went by. Later, last round, in the 8th round, he dropped me with a body shot. I got up. I'm still back fighting. But then as I'm fighting, you can see it, as I'm throwing at him, they call the fight, because they couldn't have that on paper. We have the guy we got all this money into, he's supposed to be the next thing, next person to be able to beat Canelo. And then we got this guy that didn't train at all. He agreed to a fight, was drinking at the bar, and then he goes the distance with our world champion.
Right.
How does that look? So they couldn't have that on paper, so they were just looking out for him so they can say that at least we got a stop it, TKO,
Right. Right. It keeps the KO percentage a little higher.
Yes, but if you look at the fight, I was handling my own, and that was with no training, no sparring. Literally flew back. I wouldn't be surprised if I still had alcohol in my system.
How are you
I
dropping
fought.
14 pounds in a day, bro? That's crazy.
I just sat in the sauna for like 2 hours.
God damn, bro. So it's just all water.
Yeah.
14 pounds of water in one day, man. That's that's hard for me to even comprehend.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rough. I was like, at that time I was like, fuck it. I was already sort of bothered not getting fights and stuff like that. So I was like, fuck it, I'll fight anything, anything. It's all, you gotta fight for it with a bear. All right, let's do it.
Right. I'll fight Anthony Joshua. Give it whoever.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about fighting at a lower weight, or is that just your body's not built for that?
I can't. I can get 260, but I can't perform. I did it twice, and I couldn't run a mile afterwards. I couldn't do no more than 2 rounds in the bag. I just can't. I hold a lot of like this muscle.
Yeah, it's like asking David Tua to go to cruiserweight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It just I can't do it, and you know, unless I would have to literally have doctors and people around me around the clock, sitting there watching my every move, every little ounce, every piece of food, like literally, and maybe possibly, but without some kind of doctor supervision, I just don't think I can do it.
yeah.
And I tried it a couple times, not for a fight, but just tried it. Went through the whole process of training and tried it, and I wasn't shit at 160.
Right.
So I got to the weight at 160 and I hydrated. And then the next day, as if I was going to fight and train like that, I couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, and I guess you got to weigh like the pros and the cons because at middleweight you're probably a pretty big guy, but if it depletes your performance, obviously it's not helping you.
Yeah. So that's it. I can get there, but performing there would definitely be an issue. And that's what my mindset is. Obviously, if I, all right, we $30 million, that's shit. But fuck it, let me go and get this 160. That I can do it, but I'll have to just tap into something that's, it will be all mental. Physically, I wouldn't be 100% physically,
Right.
so it have to be mentally. I don't want to survive just on mental, and I have my body backing me up.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and I've always thought the fact that, because I think a lot of guys do that. I think a lot of guys do cut to a point where it is hurting their performance, but they do it because that's where the opportunity is, or that's where the big fight is, or they're known as this weight.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Tio, a perfect example. Like anytime you see that guy, he looks like a middleweight, but he gets down to 35 and he's been doing it because that's just everybody knows him as a lightweight,
Yeah. If I could fight at 60, I would, because nobody want to be at 168. That's the most super middleweight is the most dangerous division that has always been in the world. You got guys that are fast like welterweight, and you got guys that can hit like heavyweight.
Right.
It's the most dangerous, division to even be in.
Yeah, super middleweights and light heavyweights are dangerous.
Yeah, nobody wants to be around there. It's like it's too much going on,
Yeah, yeah.
And then I couldn't go up, because I'm already small. Everybody, they 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", like they're gonna I'll just be like so small,
Yeah, I mean, even someone like Callum Smith. I mean, what is he, 6'4"? I mean, he's a big guy.
He's really big. But if you look at when he fought John Ryder, look what John Ryder did to him. And look what happened when John Ryder fought me. You look at all the times that John Ryder had him on the ropes.
Yeah. The whole fight.
Okay, look at the fight when I fought John Ryder. Wasn't on the ropes.
So, I was going to ask you about that because you boxed a lot more in that fight. Was that your game plan?
I felt like both of us really didn't do our style. Everybody was expecting this bang match, but I think we both tried to do something different, and then they made like a dull fight, which I think that fight was probably more a draw because neither of us really got out of our comfort zone. He didn't do shit. He didn't have none of that power that people talked about. And then I felt I didn't do shit. I didn't do a whole lot either.
Did you feel like you guys were both just working on some things?
That's what it kind of felt like. It felt more like some sparring shit. But he definitely didn't do anything.
Right. I mean, and he's a good fighter. He's a top level guy.
And they're talking about, he's going to be the next guy to beat Canelo. Oh, yeah. I think I'll put on way better performance against Canelo than he would. I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you'll see a better fight me and Canelo fought versus him and Canelo.
You might not be wrong. You're a natural heavyweight, so
I think he would be intimidated by Canelo anyway.
Right.
Like me, like that's part of the reason why I can fight you. I don't be going in there like, this is this person, or they have all these accolades, or they're this, they're that. You know what I mean? My brain doesn't work like that. I've seen like way worse shit than that. You know what I mean? I get to go in the ring where people they're not about to shoot at me. I ain't going to jail after this. You know what I mean? I don't got to shoot back. Like this kind of situation versus like, life situations.
Right.
So no guy's gonna walk in here and just have me scared like that. Unless they tell me, oh, he got a snub nose under his trunks or something like that. Then I probably be a little more cautious. But some of these fighters, they don't beat themselves because they're scared when they get in there with big names.
Right.
You know, I felt when I got in there with bigger names, I fought better than I did when I was with guys that were closer to my, you know, my level of fighting, you know?
Yeah. So you feel like it raises your level of competition.
Yeah. Yeah, every
Or,
time.
or I'm saying you're if the higher the competition level, you raise your level.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys do will. There's guys with a ton of natural talent that you can see when they get to the top level that mentally it's not there. But that's funny,
Yeah.
like, you know, the way you're saying it, like in the sense I'm looking at this a boxing match, like this is like this is friendly. This is friendly fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We no guns and knives involved, and we don't almost get hit by cars, and nobody jumping on me from the back, and all kind of stuff. And
Your boy can't help you.
like nobody can get in there and get you. Like I ain't dodging bullets and shit. Like so it's not that bad. And it's fun.
Yeah. What do you think about Canelo becoming a cruiserweight?
I
It's
think
kind
he
of
can
crazy.
do it. I don't think he's gonna do it for that long. I don't think he's gonna be fighting like the main cruiser. I think he might go up and fight like some basic kind of cruiserweight and go back down. I don't think he's gonna.
Well, the guy Makabu that they were talking about matching him with, he's like
the one I think I saw a little bit of press conference thing or something.
that
Is he
dude is
Cuban?
good.
Is he Cuban?
No,
What is
he's
he?
I think he's from Cameroon. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
He's African.
okay. So that guy, I did see that. I haven't really seen that guy fight. I was gonna start watching some of his fights, but
Good.
just going off how he looked, I don't think that's gonna be no easy fight for Canelo. But that dude, he looked like a heavyweight,
Yeah, bro.
and he looked like he gonna throw some heat. But Canelo will have the speed advantage, and he still has power though.
He's
But
gonna have the everything advantage other than the size.
yes, but it cannot be a tit for tat situation with them too, because I don't think it'll go well. I don't think Canelo will even fight him like that. You know what I mean? Sitting there like in front of him, like he does everybody else, and walks right through their power.
Nah, he's
I
gonna
think
fight him like he did the first Triple G fight.
yeah, he got to use a lot of defense, turn his head, he
Yeah,
moving
a
and
little
shit.
bit.
Like
Yeah.
he's gonna do all that stuff. He ain't gonna be in there just walking through, him because that guy looked like he can land some stuff.
He's serious.
Um, yeah, but I don't think he doesn't look fast. So I think Canelo's speed would definitely be a big that's what will make him like the speed.
I think his head movement, his upper body movement is going to give
Yeah.
guys a lot of problems. It's like when
Yeah.
I watch Usyk at heavyweight, the way
Yeah.
he moves is so different than any other heavyweight that they don't really know how to deal with it. And I think that could happen for Canelo.
So I don't think Canelo will fight him either.
Usyk?
Yeah, that's isn't he a cruiserweight too, right?
Well, nah, he moved up to heavyweight now. He beat Anthony Joshua.
Oh, okay, yeah. But that's another person Canelo wouldn't fight him.
Maybe if he was still a cruiserweight, but I don't know. Usyk's a big boy now.
Yeah, I don't think he'll fight him at cruiserweight though either.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's like the best cruiserweight of all time. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think he'll go in there and do that. I think that right there would be he can handle what Canelo can dish out, you know what I mean? And he can move too, so Canelo can wear this guy out. The guy he's talking about fighting, he can wear him out from his movement, making him move a lot.
Right.
Using
his size. Don't care about that.
Yeah.
Are there any fights coming up that you're excited about?
The fight that I was excited about was when I watched last night, Devontae Davis.
How was that? I didn't buy that one. How was it?
Man, that fight was a good fight.
Yeah,
You know, yeah, because everybody goes, they be sleeping on Cruz. Cruz is good,
he's
man.
tough,
Cruz,
motherfucker, man. That guy
yeah,
can fight.
Cruz. That was a good fight, man, and it was a close fight too.
Really?
You know, yeah, you couldn't. You have to watch. If they would have said, I do believe that Tank won, but if they did for some reason say draw, I couldn't have been that mad.
Right.
If they'd have said draw, I couldn't have been that mad. But I had, you know, I had Tank winning.
Right.
But Cruz had his moment, and he cracked. I don't remember what round, and he caught him with a right hand, and also he caught him with a good body shot. He had him wobbled a couple times.
Really?
So, but now after Tank fought him and won, nobody's gonna be able to beat Tank for a long time now because nobody has pushed Tank to that level that I've seen.
Right.
Everybody else you see Tank fighting, okay, yeah, they're doing some decent stuff, and
Leo gave him a good fight.
yeah, yeah, he gave him a good fight. So you see that, but this guy made Tank. He made him really work. He made him use everything.
Yeah.
He made him use all his power, all his speed, all his skill. He had to use all of his tools. It was a really good fight. Like that was like one of those fights that kind of put boxing a little bit back, in the light, like how it was. I think
Right.
that fight right there did a lot for boxing.
Right.
That was a really good fight. It wasn't one of those fights where you just kind of watch and you we know who's gonna win. All right, everybody's I know around this person get knocked out. And this was a fight that was like, oh shit, this is a real fight. We had to sit here and watch because it wasn't one sided. They both were fighting. Nobody was scared of each other. They were using all their tools, and it was real.
That's crazy, bro. Because I didn't know how that fight was gonna go down. Like I've seen Cruz fight before. He's a bad boy. He's definitely got it. But I was like, I don't know, against Tank. Like I don't know how all that pressure I've seen him put on. I don't know how that's gonna hold up against Tank. But I guess
So
it
so
did hold
if
up.
if, if you watch the first 4 rounds, I was like, if he can keep that up for the whole fight, then maybe in the 10th, 11th round, Tank might have had some trouble. But after the shit he was doing the first 4 rounds, it was devastating, especially that body work. I didn't think he was even going to the head. Like
Right.
it was devastating body work to where if he would have kept that up, 8 rounds, it could have been a little bit different. But Tank broke him down. He was on. He kept his distance, and I saw what he was doing. He was working. He was controlling. Every time Cruz would try to get off, he had that jab.
Yeah, I'm kind of pissed. I misread that fight. I thought that had the potential to be a blowout just because Cruz is so aggressive. I was like, Tank is gonna have the opportunity to get him, but I guess I was
So you
wrong.
thought you thought he was gonna burn himself out?
I did. I thought Cruz might burn himself out a little bit, and I thought that Tank is just like Leo was so aggressive, and that was part of how he landed that uppercut. Was Leo was really coming at him, so I was like, all right,
Yeah.
Cruz is gonna open himself up quickly because he's super aggressive, and Tank is going to catch him with something that's going to get him off. But
So in my last fight, that's what they kept saying. Oh, he's too old. He can't keep up that pace. Because I had a really fast pace.
right,
And it was like, oh no, he's about to tire himself out. They said that.
this
I
is the
dropped him in
Kendrick
the
Ball
first.
fight.
Yeah, I dropped him in the first round. The second round, there was like, yep, he's getting tired. He's getting tired. And then I think the third round, they were like, oh shit, yeah, he's on his way out. He can't keep up that pace. He's too old. And I heard somebody yell out, he has a bald head. I was like, what the fuck does that got to do with anything? Yeah. So he's like, he can't keep up that pace. He's getting tired. You know what I mean? And then I almost stopped him in the third round.
Right,
And they were yelling out, oh, he's extremely tired. You know what I mean? But I've been working on these deep breathing techniques that they probably saw me doing that. So they saw me doing my breathing technique. So they figured, oh,
He's huffing
you
and
know, he,
puffing.
yeah, he's tired, you know. So I did my breathing technique, you know. So then, you know, they kept saying that like the third, fourth, fifth round. Yeah, he almost done. He can't keep it up. You know what I mean? But they wasn't noticing. I was picking up the pace, so my punches actually they were. It was more in the fifth and sixth round than before. You know, so they was. I think they were banking on keep it going fast to get me tired.
Right.
You know, so they were trying to get me to burn myself out.
Right.
You know, which I've never used that many left hands. That's probably more left hands than I threw in my last three fights combined.
Right. You're Orthodox
Yeah,
fighter, right? Yeah.
yeah.
So
I,
was
I
that specifically part of your plan? Like, I'm gonna throw a lot more jabs in this fight.
yeah, I use a lot more jabs to the body, you know what I mean? And just coming in at a different angle. Um, and just, you know, his right hand, he threw it the same every time, you know what I mean? So I can block it, slip it, roll it. There was one, you know, a couple moves that I didn't quite execute the way that I planned, you know, because we only had a short amount of time working on it. And I'm going to start back on those next week, you know, those new, you know, those new moves, you know, so I can get better at them. So I couldn't really get off because it wasn't comfortable enough. But I do like the moves and they go with me very well. But, you know, if I have that similar build guy, then I'll use it in the next fight.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
What'd you think about fucking Haney and Diaz?
Oh, man, I don't know, man. See, Haney, you know, I think he is following the Floyd Mayweather footsteps. You know what I mean? He's making more money than everybody. He has his Devin Haney promotions. I think business wise, he's doing really good. But I think he you might have to work on his defense a little bit more because he's starting to get a little bit exposed. He's getting cracked and almost getting wobbled. Like he didn't know what corner he was going back to in one of those rounds. Did you see that?
Yeah.
You know, he was shit. Shit. There was like they I think somebody pointed, you gotta go over there, man, you know?
Yep. Yep.
You know,
And he got
so
hurt real bad against Linares the last fight.
yeah, so he got cracked. Yeah, he's you know, I think he's good, but I don't know if he should work on his defense a little bit more to not take those big shots, you know, or he needs to build up his power. Because I think he has like this thing he's trying to prove to people that he has power, you know,
Right.
which, you know, he might, you know, but I don't see him as a power puncher. I see him very skilled and he can play shots well and he can control the distance. He has really good footwork, but I don't think he should try to prove himself, prove people that he's a power puncher. I think it puts him in a position where he takes he gets hit by big shots. I don't think that's his style to sit in there and bang with people like that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just based on the Linares fight and how he got hurt, I actually going in, I thought Diaz was gonna win, but it seemed like he was just there was and I think a lot of it was Devin too, like moving and boxing real nice, giving him good angles.
The only way, but the way you thought he was going to win, it would have been by knockout, right?
Yeah, I just thought that he was gonna like all the good shit that he did, Diaz, like the good inside work. I just thought he was gonna do more of that than he did. And I think that
Yeah.
it was a mixture of he kept his hands in his pocket a little too much, and Haney's movement was really good. So
Yeah.
I just thought Diaz was gonna do more of what he did. But I think it was mostly that Haney makes it hard for you to plant and let your hands go. You know what I mean? His movement is a lot to handle.
Yeah.
But I think you're right too, and I've said this before. There's something about his game to me that's like a little incomplete, or it's not. And that's also, he's young as fuck, right? He's like
Yeah,
22, 23 years old, but there's
yeah. So
something,
I think he still got more time than anybody to get better.
right?
You know, he's the youngest, champion that there is right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got nothing but time.
Yeah. And I think I'm more of a believer in his potential after this fight, for sure. But I think you're
Yeah.
right that there's still a lot that he's got to work on as far as, because
Yeah.
this fight, the Linares fight, and then there was another, the Gamboa fight. He took some weird shots that he didn't need to take.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like a focus thing or what it is, especially for somebody as sharp as him.
Yeah. And people talking about, he said the last person he should fight would be Tank. We thought Tank and he should fight. Heard a couple people say that, and I was like, nope. I like them both, but Tank will get him out of there.
I
Yeah.
might agree. Honestly. But I
Tank will
think
get him
Tank
out of
gets
there.
all of them out.
Huh?
I think Tank gets all of them out of there, except for maybe Lomachenko. But I think he stops any of these.
I don't know. Lomachenko, I think even he might be possible. But I feel like I don't know trying to think who he fought like Tank. That was a puncher. I don't think he can use those angles and stuff on Tank like that. I don't know if that'll work.
I think some of it'll work. I think if
Yeah.
anything, he's just tricky enough to hit that he'd be able to go some rounds with Tank.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
And that's the thing, because Lomachenko, he's just extremely fucking skilled, smart, and he has that footwork, but he's not a big puncher. He just know where to position his body to make the shot perfect.
Right.
You know?
And he does get a lot of stoppages, I think, because he's so accurate.
Yeah, yeah. Because people don't know where the fuck he's at. He's atmosphere. What they call him with the Matrix and shit,
Yeah.
You look at him over there, he over there,
Yep. And he's a beast at it, man.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed watching him fight. He's one of my favorites to watch how he operates. It's like machine in there.
He makes it look easy.
Which is crazy because, like you said, he's not a big puncher and he's been injured like so many times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That he's always got something he's nursing going into these fights now.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. I don't want to take up too much of your time. This has been fucking awesome, man. I really appreciate you taking this time to fucking chop it up with me, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. But like I said, let me give a shout out to
please, shout out everything you want to shout out. Please take your time.
MG Ring, to put me in the position to where I can be comfortable and things are more of my favorites, Ultimate Fitness Food, because I can't cook or do macros for the save my life, without them, I wouldn't know what to eat. Then my dietitian, the case beer that actually gives them the numbers and tell them what to cook. That literally tells me, oh, you should do this weight this day, this weight this day, this weight. He'll call and text me, this day you're supposed to be this day you're supposed to be 72. If you're doing exactly, the shit's pretty on. If I do something, weird, like eat like a 2 king size paydays, I gotta let him know so he can change the numbers. Right. It's all like chemistry, So I ate this, and this, and this. I'll send him a picture, so he knows how to adjust to whatever I ate, to what the pull or move around with the numbers with the food,
Right.
Calibrate it, then obviously, my coaches, Patrick, Otis, Ace, who's giving me the skills, because, I'm 40, but my body ain't 40, shit, I'm still warming up. I've been over here on this treadmill over an hour on a 15 incline right here, you know?
Yeah, I know. I could see that it's like you're walking on a hill.
You know? I'm gonna do a little bit of core work, a little bit of sauna, then gonna pick my kids up from school and go to the gym and just chill and call my shop on the, I got a race car I'm building,
Do you really?
Yeah, so I drive. Everybody know I drive, ride bike fast. I got a Subaru 2017 WRX. I just put 26,000 into the motor, new Porsche motor, new turbo, more forged pistons, bigger header screws, exhaust system, cob intake. It already had a green speed. I put a bigger intercooler, exhaust, computer system, just hella shit. So I might do suspension next. But the turbo's only been there for 3 weeks. I got the car out. The turbo, every now and then a brand new turbo goes. It broke the other day. You probably don't be on Instagram, but I'll put it on Instagram on stories.
Right.
The turbo froze up, so they're putting another turbo in there right now. Supposed to be done tomorrow. I'm getting the new Cobb just came out with a new cold air intake. So right now, currently, what I have in there, I got 425 horses. I got 375 at the wheels. Yeah, remember, a Subaru's a little car, though.
Right.
So after I get it tuned again with this new cold air intake, I'm trying to get 400 at the wheels. So right now, I'm already like smoking like Mustangs, and Dodges and shit, and mainly because I can drive.
Right.
So I'll be in the wheels and the turns and stuff, and I be getting it.
So you're turning a Subaru into a race car, basically?
Yeah, it's still going to be somewhat street legal, but it's going to be, a lot,
That's cool, man.
I'm trying to make that fast so I can stay off the bike. I think I'm going to chill on the bike, I'll be on that. I already got too many tickets and shit. I got, I get put over the 180 and stuff on the motorcycle. It's not good.
180?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, this got chased by 5 counties like a few months ago. So I'm trying to fight that ticket. The airplane was chasing me, but the airplane couldn't keep up. So it was like different departments are getting on the freeway. It was like Sac County, Sac Sheriff, Folsom PD, another sheriff. One sheriff estimated me at 180. I was actually on 175, but still close. Then El Dorado County got involved. Then there was El Dorado Sheriff got involved. Then the Highway Patrol came. It was all, but then I knew one of my Highway Patrol buddies. He said, "I'm not giving them a ticket." And he talked to them and told them, "Don't take me to jail. Don't take my bike."
Shit, bro.
Yeah, but I ride on my buddy's bike. We had a BMW RR 1000. I was doing 190 on that. I used to want to hit 200, but if I do 200, I might just do it in the car now. Because I thought about putting the turbo on the bike.
Bro, if somebody sees you in their car driving by, that must look like...
Nobody ever sees me. Like sometimes people know I go fast and they're like, "Hey, did you go by me?" And I was like, "No, I can see a lot of stuff. I'm used to the high speed." It actually, in boxing, helps me ride. So my kinesthetic awareness and peripherals, I pick up a lot of stuff at high speed,
Right.
So I can probably go by you at it, probably like 150. I can tell you, kind of shirt you had on. You had your Raiders beating on. You're holding a cigarette in your hand, So like up to like 150, 160, I can see pretty much little tiny details. At like 180, 190, it has to be bigger details. But when I'm going that fast, like I'm going through different cities. Like when I go that fast, I stay on it a while. So that's why it's so many counties that were involved, even though I was only driving like that for 3-4 minutes. But I'm going through cities.
Right.
Maybe like
And
a
then
minute.
at that speed in 3 minutes,
Yeah,
you're going far.
yeah. So when I'm going fast like that, exits are what, like 3 to 5 miles apart.
Right.
So when I'm going that fast, exits are going by like exit, exit, exit,
Right.
exit, exit. So they're going by. I can, you know, like one time on a bike, I did Eldorado Hills where I live in San Francisco. I did that in 25 minutes one time.
Going 180.
Off and on, off and on. I probably stayed in between because it was like turns. So I probably stayed in between 140 and 180.
Fuck, bro.
And then the roads as you approach to the Bay Area, they're not as safe. They're a little bumpy. It's a little sketchy. I did that in 25 minutes, I think it was. Yeah.
That's
And
insane.
that's probably like an hour and 45, almost 2 hour drive if you're doing a speed limit.
Right.
From my house to downtown, it's probably like 35 minutes. I did from my house to downtown one time in 7 minutes.
That's intense, bro. That's intense.
Yeah. But, I got kids and stuff, so I'll be chilling. So I really don't go that fast that long. I might just jump on it now from here to one exit and I'll be chilling now. I'll save it for the card. And even that, I'm mellow. Like I don't jump out of airplanes no more either. Everything I do is pretty much extreme, because there's too many things that I do that can get you fucked up,
It's funny. I used to work with this dude. I work in like concert festival production shit. And this guy that I used to work with he was like, shout out Dion. Dion was like a fucking stunt driver. And this motherfucker, he'd get out on the highway, bro, and he'd be doing some shit that I wouldn't even think to do. But he did no problem.
That was me out of high school. I was doing donuts, drifting, sliding around. I can slide by you, you know what I mean, and barely graze your coat with the real. So before boxing, in high school, they called me Driver 25. That was my name before the minute.
Right.
25 was like a football number. They call me Driver 25. I've been driving since I was 6. So even like my little son, he can drift and slide in his power wheels and stuff,
Right.
So it's kind of, I think he might have that little skill too, but I don't want to get too much into it. But then just, I don't want to do none of the shit that I do. I haven't even showed him boxing. He know how to box a little bit. I haven't even taught him that, but
right.
I want to do nothing that I do. He got to do his own thing, Soccer, baseball, something like that,
Make him do lacrosse or something.
Yeah, lacrosse is pretty tight, But if he gets serious and stuff, I want it to be something where you at least can make a couple bucks doing it,
Yeah.
So I think soccer would be pretty good,
I've always noticed that fighters never want their kids to fight.
And my youngest, he has my temper. He's mean. He's always, if you see him, he just throw a couple punches just because,
Yeah.
And my oldest,
me.
He's a bookworm. He went to the Army for a little bit, in the reserves, so they're all a little different. I would say my 6-year-old is probably physically the most like me, He's the athletic one, but I don't think he was the one to box my youngest. I think later on he might, because he's probably the meanest out of everybody. And he's real quiet too.
Right. Why do you think that is, though, that fighters, if they, generally speaking, I've heard when fighters have like kids that want to fight, they don't like it. Why do you think that is?
It's just because it's like sometimes you do things for your kids to give them a little bit more than what you had, and you don't want to see them struggle or feel the things that you feel.
Right.
You know what I mean? This shit ain't me. This shit rough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I missed their birthdays. I've missed holidays. I miss my birthdays. I just didn't get Thanksgiving for this, like the ups and downs, the politics. You know what I mean? Relationship issues. Like, yeah, I mean, it's a whole lot of shit involved. You know,
Yeah.
you got other people involved. You know, like money stuff. You know, you gotta. It's a lot. You know, and it's a lot of pressure. You know, and even like this day and age, kids they're really not built like how we were built from the '80s. You know,
Right.
they're not like every time we leave the house, they think we're going to get a toy.
Right.
They do vacations and shit. They travel, hopping on airplanes. Their dad, they go to the gym. They got a lot of cars and shit, video arcade games and shit. Like they don't understand like that life that they have is that shit's not realistic. You know, not saying that you can't have you know a lot of stuff and then be a fighter. It just makes it a little bit more deep, harder to dig into that. You know, my 6-year-old, he's real competitive, so I can see him being a good athlete in anything. But he's just good. He does not like to lose. Everything's a race. Everything's a challenge. Everything is some kind of,
Right.
I'm gonna get you.
Right.
So, but if they decide to do it, then I'll back them. But if I don't, I wouldn't push heartache, pain, stress, and all that shit on them unless they really want it. And explain to them that's what comes. So you won't get times around your friends. You know what I mean? You won't when they get to that age. You won't be able to hang out with your girlfriend like that. It's just you're gonna have to be selfish. People won't understand what you're doing. You have to be fucked up towards people. Like it's just it's hard for people to understand the life of a fighter.
Yeah.
Because it's not everything is not realistic.
Right.
They don't see what goes on behind closed doors. Injuries, you know what I mean? Shit hurting, you know what I mean? You can't sleep. You got to do this. Sad, up and down, emotional shit, I'd had times I was running, you know what I mean? And was just tired and crying at the same time, running and crying.
Right. Right.
I'll never cry, just your brain start getting to you. You start thinking weird shit.
Right.
It's a whole lot of stuff that goes, that's why I got so much respect for the military. You know what I mean? And it's different, but you got to deal with this type of these high adrenaline situations that change you. They give you PTSD. You're not going to be a normal person after you do this.
Right.
Like you're not a normal person after you've been a boxer. You come back and bullshit like around regular people, but your mind thinks different. After a person been in prison almost their whole life, they don't feel comfortable out here in society. You know what I mean? Been in the military for a long time. I got friends, military a long time. They come back out, and they just going through the motions, bullshitting like around civilians, but their shit's not normal.
Right.
But you know what I mean? They had to do some shit that a whole lot of men ain't gonna step up and do.
Do you feel that for yourself? Like, do you feel like fighters experience that? Not to the same degree, and it's a different thing, but do you think that there is some of that where once you've had to experience certain kinds of shit in the ring, you're different now. You just process shit different.
Yeah, you're 100% different.
Right.
You're a different kind of person. You know what I mean? Especially if you came from a certain type of lifestyle. You know what I mean? You're already fucked up anyway. I think you have to be a little bit fucked up to even want to even do boxing. Why the fuck I tell people, I was like, why would you want to do that? Oh, look, there's a whole lot of shit, you get rewarded for this shit in public, but there's a whole lot of shit that you do in private. Now, nobody know I'm here right now. You know what I mean? They just always see the outcome. They don't know all this shit. They don't know about me cutting weight, sitting in the sauna, dying, doing all that shit, getting drugged out the sauna and going back in and out, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
There's a whole lot of shit that goes into this. Like I don't even people ask me, "Oh man, Mike, I should go. I want to get me a bike. So I can go fast like you." No, you don't. There's something. I know what I'm doing, but there's a little something that's a little bit wrong with me that gives me that
Right.
edge to be able to build up that skill level to get to that. You know what I
Right.
mean? I don't tell people. People think some of the shit I do is cool. Nah, that's just not cool. That's just me. That's how. I've been like this my whole life. I didn't up and jump one day. Hey, I'm gonna start doing this. You know what I mean? I was doing donuts in my mom's Mustang at 12 years old. You know
Right.
what I mean? I can drive an 18-wheeler diesel truck at 14 years old. You know what I mean? I could drive my mom around at eight years old. So I've always been a driver.
At 8, you said?
8, yeah.
That's crazy.
She passed out when she was pregnant with my little sister. I could put her in the passenger seat and drive her home. I had like a little
Wow.
a temporary license. I could drive to the store if I was in the neighborhood.
You had a temporary license when you were 8?
It was like an emergency thing to where I was allowed to drive her. She could pass out, which is pregnant with
Wow.
my little sister. Yeah, for emergency.
That's
Yeah,
crazy, bro.
but I'm well known in the Carroll Miller Justice Center. That's the traffic force. I got 29 tickets.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got 29 tickets. I think 26 or 25 are speeding. You know what I mean? I gave them the course of my life. I probably gave them at least, I don't know, $40,000 in
Right.
restitution and traffic fines and shit like that. When I get pulled over, they give me tickets. I got it. When Click It or Ticket first came out, the seatbelt thing, I got a ticket for seatbelt sitting in a broke down work truck. A front seal had broke. I was a satellite technician, for Ironwood Communications. I did like direct TV and shit. I was sitting in my work truck, broke down, my front seal went out on my Blazer. They see me, they look at my record, they just give me a ticket.
Just because.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, he ain't fighting Eddie. And he's like, why they still have a license? Because I pay. It's about money, not about rehabilitating anybody. To keep
Right.
this guy on the road, this motherfucker will keep doing it. We keep getting money. I
Right.
was suspended a couple times. This next ticket I just got, I'm going to lose my license, I'm pretty sure. But we'll see.
You think you're gonna lose it?
Well, because I got the one getting chased by the bike. I was on the bike. I didn't know that airplane was chasing me afterwards. But right when I got my car out the shop, I was taking my kids to school one Monday morning like this. I just kind of took off a little bit. Stealing out my turbo, and it jumped to like 170, not 170. It jumped to 75. I was right next to an undercover truck.
Right.
He pulled me over. So, and I already got like with that's a point, and plus the one from the bike, that'd be another point. That'll put me at like 6 points. Supposed to lose your license every 4 points.
Right. Right.
But we'll see. But I ain't really worried about it. I'm blessed in so many other ways. Life is good. I ain't out here selling drugs, it's killing motherfuckers. So it's just traffic shit.
Facts.
Everybody got their little things.
Facts.
Mine just happened to be jumping on the gas, and most people consider that shit kind of cool anyway.
I think that's something we all wish we could do. I would love to feel what that feels like. I'm too scared to do it, but I would love to know.
Oh yeah, I love it when you on your bike and you banging out over, like it feels good when you pull off and it's that gaining speed. I love roller coasters, but I drive so fast that they don't really seem that fast to me.
Right. Yeah.
So I still like it anyway, though. Yeah. And everybody's like, ah! I'm like just chilling and shit. Yeah.
On the fucking King the Car reading the newspaper.
Yeah, it's chilly, you know.
That's funny, bro. That's hilarious. Well, Mike, it's been a fucking pleasure, my man.
Yes, sir.
I hope we can do this again sometime.
Yeah.
Maybe one of these times we could get you and Otis on at the same time. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think he's asleep right now. I think he just got off work. I told him this morning we were going to get on. The CES have you do this one or no?
Huh?
This CES have you do this interview?
No.
But, because he was asking me maybe CES contracted him out, and I was like, no, I think Dakota wants to do it on his own. But I think he said somebody from there, somebody wanted to do one, but he thought that maybe they told you to do it and you'll just get the information out.
Bro, this is just me.
Yeah.
This is just my shit.
That's what I told him. I said, no, I think he reached out on his own. It wasn't nobody else.
And honestly, man, like I want to keep it that way. I want to be able to have it be my thing, my flavor. I want fighters to be able to come on and say whatever the fuck they want to say and not feel like there's some weird rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to have it. I want to have it be like some real shit. I don't want to do clickbait. I don't want to do bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to really get to know what fighters are thinking and you know what I'm saying? How you guys operate.
Yeah.
To me, you know, I've been in boxing gym since I was 13. And to me, fighters are some of the coolest people in the fucking world. You know, you guys do something that, you know, even me as a gym rat, I can't do what you do. Everybody, you know, nobody knows that more than the gym rats. You know what I'm saying? To me, having been in there and sparred, and I've gotten my ass whooped before, and like, so I got nothing but respect for what you guys do, bro. Seriously.
All right, well, good looking, man. It was nice talking to you.
Bro, absolute fucking pleasure, my friend. It was good to see you.
All right, talk to you later.
Peace, Mike.
All right, bye.